Hey guys, StarCraft here, and today I've got, since looks like the polls are already coming out on top of the favor of this one, I'll be going over not just Shazam number 1 and 2 as per the review, but I just had to be giving a primer on basically everything leading up to it. I know I originally said the origin, but then I realized, you know what, screw it. Let's start first from the backup that began in Justice League number 7. Included all the way up to even through the end at, Justice League number 21. I'm also going to go a bit further. Start showing his other appearances that mostly Jeff Johns had handled, and from Justice League 22 onward, all the way up until, Justice League number 50 in Darkseid War, which would include, let me find that quickly. The Justice League Shazam and Darkseid War Shazam one shot by Steve Orlando. This is going to be a primer. I am not going over every single detail. This would take over an hour if I did that, but it'll be going over the big chunk of everything that led up to the ongoing, because there's actually quite a bit of stuff that happened in between that eventually I'm sure in the ongoing is going to be like, wait, what happened? So, without further ado, since we got a lot to do, let's dive right in. Catch you later. And see you at the end. Hey, first things first, I gotta say it. I love Captain Marvel, Shazam, whatever. The big red cheese. I really love the character. He's in my top 10, maybe even my top 5 for all that matters. And, just to make it clear, I've at the very least read the origins of all of them since post-Crisis. Shazam, The New Beginnings by Roy Thomas and Tom Mandrake, to the graphic novel for The Power of Shazam by Jerry Ordway. Really have to find all that, the ongoing of that. Seriously, why haven't they collected that with the movie coming out? Anyway, and then of course, I kept up with the Trials of Shazam. Not a new origin, I know, but it was a shakeup, and I found it personally interesting. They just wasted it and didn't go anywhere with it. Then, of course, you have Jeff Smith's little Shazam and the Monster Society of Evil. I adore that book. And the Billy Batson and Shazam, that spun out of it was very nice. Then, of course, you have the current book. And, this was another origin, obviously. And as I'll get to when I continue on, I'm recording this afterwards just to make this clear, that this is Jeff Johns giving a radically different, but still faithful version of the character. So, let's go right in. So, let's start the little primer I had by talking about the entire collection of the Shazam stories leading up. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to give some detailed points on this. But it basically, we open up finding out how the Wizard has not just been waiting for Billy to come around, but actually has been gathering people for years trying to find out who could be his champion and never finding anyone. And we open also with the scientist Savannah, who looks like a normal guy. In fact, he looks a lot like Lex Luthor in a way. But this one believes in magic, and he has a good studying of it all. We're then introduced to Billy Batson at the orphanage as he meets up with the Vasquezes, a husband and wife who want to take him in. And Billy is coming off like the Billy we know. He has a podcast, he loves to read a lot, organize his room, fix things, learn things. He just wants what everyone else has. And basically he comes off, like I said, like the Billy we all know. The Vasquez said, yeah, we'll take you in. And they are so happy. Then once they leave, we find out Billy, all that was an act. He is a snot-nosed little kid who just wants to get out of there, or at least get out of the system, and the head of the orphanage, the social worker, will do anything to be rid of him. So yeah, he's the most unpleasant kid. What the hell, Jeff? I mean, I get they're subverting things, but good lord. We then have Billy show up at the Vasquezes, and we're introduced, to their other adopted kids. Mary and Freddie, Pedro and Eugene and Darla. And yeah, a lot of this is Yeah, it seems like those little sweet, happy families. Everyone's good. Mrs. Vasquez comes off as a very much of a sweetheart, and gotta love Gary Franks' artwork. But then afterwards, Billy just lays out on all of them, especially Darla, basically saying, "We're not a family. None of you are." And Darla breaks down crying, and Mary chews out Billy big time. Especially, it's heart-wrenching what she says. As if Darla didn't have enough to cry about. And that little girl's parents aren't dead like mine or in prison like Freddie's. They just didn't want her. They told her that when they left her here. She cried herself to sleep every night for months. Damn, no wonder this girl's all happy and bubbly. And Mary, well, in this version it looks like Mary's the older one between her and Billy. And yeah, that surprised me. Now, of course, we don't know any further, but we do see that Billy has a photo of his parents still with a tiger. Yes, that's Tawny. And there's a cute little bit where we see a talkie Tawny, in his usual suit in his backpack. Yeah, that's adorable. And then it's time for school as, well, I'll just simply say shenanigans happened that eventually lead to these two Breyer brothers, the sons of the richest, most powerful man in Philadelphia, which is where this is taking place, I should add. And they start to beat up on everyone until Billy just wails in on them, even saying, "I don't like bullies." He gets in trouble, and while in the principal's office, Mr. Vasquez finds out just how much of a troublemaker he's been. We then meet Mr. Breyer, who's that stereotypical, "I'm the richest guy and I don't like these kids. Ugh, how dare you do it? I want him dealt with." And then Billy went right up to him, threatens him, but then Breyer threatening him back, and Mr. Vasquez showing that, yeah, he's not a uber, just to let everyone get away with everything nice guy, intervenes, and, well, I like this at the very least. It shows that Johns is showing that the Vasquezes, they're very nice, but they'll also defend the kids. They're not the pushovers, and yeah. But anyway, Savannah makes his way to a location in Kandak where he unlocks something and ends up getting the ability to see magic. And we get his missing eye scar. Nice! As the Vasquezes are trying to talk about what's going on, like with Billy, and they point out, yeah, things were pretty bad, but at the same time, and for him, and yeah, it was a lie that got him here, but we're still gonna love him because it's clear he doesn't know what it's like, not like we did. Turns out, yeah, the Vasquezes were also and were also orphans in foster care, going around to the wrong places, and that explains why they want to give everyone the best. We then see Freddie following Billy, who didn't eat the hamburger for dinner and left the pickles. Turns out he's going to the zoo to give the burger to Tawny, who treats Billy like a nice friend. Freddie then is there and basically, he explains himself. Explains how, yeah, they're nice people, a little naive, but the Vasquezes are cool. And, they're becoming good friends. And basically Freddie says, "I know where the Bryers live." Meanwhile, back in Baghdad, not Kandak, Baghdad, Savannah then is looking over, and he soon finds the magic words, as being able to see magic also translates things. And he says the word Shazam, releasing Black Adam. Oh yeah, Black Adam. Then we end up seeing when you see Black Adam, he kills one of Savannah's men, then flies up into the air. But you find out Savannah can speak in the Kandakian or Egyptian, one of the languages, but the other one can't, so Black Adam kills him. Savannah and him then decide we're going to work together. Meanwhile, at the Breyers' place, Billy and Freddie try to open up the car door and then planning on pushing it down the driveway. Yeah, they end up sending off the alarms. Billy pushes Freddie aside so he doesn't take the brunt because, he's on crutches. He's not going to be able to figure things and get away. And then the Breyer brothers chase after him until they make it to a train. Once he does, well, similar to all those people at the beginning, and similar so many times as Billy, if you know your Shazam lore, he is transported into the Wizard's Sanctum. Now, up until this point, these have been a bunch of backup in Justice League. But for this point, we got an entire issue, in issue 0, That's only 2 of the issues that get entirely dedicated to this. In this case, we have Billy entering into the sanctum, and then he sees the images of the 7 deadly enemies of man, the 7 deadly sins. Once he arrives, he meets up with the wizard. And the wizard is basically, no, this won't do at all. Even reads his mind, sees all the nasty stuff that Billy has done, and he's just feeling like, I don't have much time left. Black Adam is free. I don't know what I'm going to do. To which then Billy basically says, hey, no one's perfect exists out here. Okay, I get what Jeff Johns is going for, trying to show that, okay, yeah, there's no need for being pure goodness, and that trying to do so is a fool's errand because eventually the world's going to alter or corrupt people, but I think he went a little too far with Billy initially. But anyway, the wizard didn't realize it. You're saying that if there's just the embers of good inside them, I should go with it. Checks them out, finds out, yep, he does have the potential. So it's enough as he then passes the power on, saying, say the word. And he does. Shazam! And Shazam is born. And, well, and he tells him you have to, you are the keeper of magic. As the wizard collapses and dies. No rock falling on his head or anything. He just falls over and dies. Then Shazam appears in front of Freddy. And he's like, hey, wait, it's me. It's Billy. Yep, going with the version where it's Billy all grown up. I don't mind either version. I think they all have their points. I mean, Jeff Smith did pretty well with the Shazam's a different personality in his Monster Society of Evil 4-parter. Anyway, and Shazam and Billy realizes, oh, I know what I could do, as he picks up the Briar's car, and then the alarm goes off. What does Billy do? He smashes in the SUV as they all run off. It is so great. We then see a mugger trying to hold up a woman, and what does Billy do? Goes in and sends him flying right into a car. And for a moment he's like, I didn't mean to hit him so hard. Oh, yeah, the guy's fine. Then the woman says, how can I ever thank you? Billy asks for a little bit of money, and she gives him $20. He basically feels like, Freddy's like, we're gonna be rich. Again, they're kids. I like this. It's really, really good. We then cut to Black Adam and Savannah as he's showing him the modern world. Then, even to a point of a car smashing into Black Adam. Savannah explains how there's a protest going on, how this businessman basically stole so much money, and yeah, they go with the stereotypical, they get him off the sidewalk. You don't own the sidewalk. I'll buy it. What does Black Adam do? He comes and takes the guy, just drops him from the building, killing him. Of course, everyone runs away, and he's all like, they flee in fear from one who saved them. He is completely confused by that. And Black Adam then creates a doorway to the Rock of Eternity, but he can't enter. Why? Because we now have a new champion, and that only he may enter there. Billy then buys a brand new coat to cover over himself as Black Adam and Savannah make their way to this very fat Double Lard, who actually is the house and the host of Floss, one of the 7 deadly sins of man. Billy and Freddy, then Shazam and Freddy end up using what's left of their money on food, then thinking about using it on an ATM machine. Hilarity ensues. They stop a bank robber. Then they stop another mugger, and what did they decide then for a reward? All the junk food they could carry. Then they stop also a guy trying to hotwire a car. Freddy amusingly says, maybe that's one of your powers, to find crimes accidentally. Then Billy sees this woman in the reflection talking to him, mentioning about Black Adam, and during which Billy finds out he can fly. They fly around a little bit, but then Billy starts to show that yeah, he's going to stay as an adult. He doesn't need a bed. Basically, I'm an adult now and I'm staying that way. Freddy doesn't like his attitude as leaves them. Basically saying, you're a condescending tool. Very much of a big vibe here, but at the same time, Black Adam shows up ready to fight Billy. Along with Sloth, Savannah starts to find some of the other deadly sins of men, while Shazam and Black Adam just fight. Black Adam, being more experienced, just tosses Shazam around until he's forced to revert back to Billy and runs off. Shazam and Black Adam saying, "I will find you." Then we cut back to the Vasquez's, where Briar is chewing them out, basically saying, look what that brat did. And again, they just obviously like, yeah, how could Billy have done that? And Briar's just being at all, and he thinks that the Vasquez are all doing this as tax sheltering. Yeah, again, tells you the kind of evil guy he is. And when the power goes down, they start seeing Black Adam's message. Freddy reveals to everyone about him being Shazam and explains everything to them until they find him. Where else? Talking with Tawny. And basically, they realize they gotta do something. They need to maybe go back to the Rock of Eternity or something to find out what to do. Meanwhile, Savannah, who, due to all the magic in him, is starting to wither his body from being the Lex Luthor looking guy to being more and more like the Savannah we know, the little Gollum guy, as he presents to Black Adam all of the other 70 deadly sins of man. Dude, it's just so awesome to say sometimes. They then make their way into a subway and wondering what they're going to do. We then see that the woman in the reflection is talking with him, explaining things to him. Her name is Francesca, and tells him, please try to remember this time. It's only polite. And no one else can seem to hear him at first. But then she basically explains to them how things kind of work. And explains how that he and Black Adam are the two last champions of the 6 magical realms. And he is the living lightning, forever connected. Black Adam can sense them. You are as connected as family now. Mary hears that one word. Somehow she can hear it, but no one else can. If you know your history, there might be an explanation for it all. We also find out invulnerability is not one of Shazam's abilities. It's incredible durability and healing, but he can still be beaten to death and killed. Which makes sense. Earth's mightiest mortal, not Earth's mightiest Superman. We then find out that in Kandak, in ancient times, a young boy was brought before that, things were horrible back then. His uncle is captured and tells him his uncle is mortally wounded as A-Man, that's the boy's name, is heading towards into a cave, which ends up leading him before the wizard and the other councils of magic. And Billy, foolish, and just jumps to the assumption that he's a kid, and he's a kid like me. I can get through to him. Black Adam's a kid. He then goes and says, before him, and Adam's like, you're the new champion. Yeah, man, but hey, we're kids, right? I know how it is. You're scared. You think, and you're scared, but you don't have to be. You're trying to be the big tough guy, but then Black Adam picks him up and says, you think I'm scared? Boy, you don't know anything. We then find out that, yes, Amon was given the power, and he was able to share it with his uncle. And in doing so, heal him. And then his uncle is basically is telling him, no, and we must use your power to bring down everything. And Amon is like, that would be vengeance, not justice. Please, Uncle Adam. Yep. And then basically, with Amon, he's like, we can do this. We can save everyone. So what does Adam do? Calls forth the power. They say it together. And right before the lightning cracks, he snaps Amon's neck, making the power his and his alone. Yeah, and ever since then he has stayed as Black Adam, as he's ready to start tossing them all around. Billy's then ready to say the word, and because the others showed up, Black Adam has them all at his hand. We then go into Justice League number 21, which is once again a complete tie-in to everything. While Black Adam is threatening Billy's family, Billy had transformed, I should have said at the end of the last issue, and saying, give me the power I want or they all die. Meanwhile, the 7 deadly sins all find Briar and take him up into him. Which explains why he was such an evil man. He was the perfect vessel for all 7 of them as he becomes a giant demon monster. They continue, during all this, Shazam's trying to figure out what to do, but then Francesca tells them family is what it can be, not what it should be. Meaning, he can share his powers with those that are family, even if they're not by blood. He then sends the power right towards Adam. He then wonders, wait, I don't feel anything. We then see everyone else of his adopted family has gained powers. We see Mary Marvel, Captain Marvel Jr., or just Freddy right now, Pedro, Eugene, and Darla. Although while the others become adults, Darla's just become a teenager. Well, I feel funny. And basically they all joined in and come in to help. Freddy, you are hot, Mary, and you're still an idiot. They all then gang up on him, and Black M knocking Freddy aside and into a truck. It turns out Darla has incredible speed, but still not enough. Billy and Mary both deck him into a church, and then Eugene comes by to the van, and it moves away. Turns out, before the lightning hit, Eugene was carrying a bunch of tech, and it got absorbed into him, basically making him being able to control technology. And I love this. Maybe they merged into you like the fly. Hey, so the van thanks a lot for breaking my fall. Good job, van. Then the poor van is incinerated. They then realize what's going on. That's Mr. Breyer. So they decide, okay, you go deal with Adam, we'll deal with this guy. As they all go flying in, fighting them. And seriously, all of this is pretty awesome. And Freddy wants to call himself King Shazam, to which Marion says, will you stop already, freaking Shazam? King Shazam. Okay, cute joke. The fight goes on further until it reaches into the zoo, where Tony then comes in after getting freed, ready to attack Black Adam. In a fit of desperation, Billy sends lightning and the power right towards Tony, making him much larger. But he did it wrong, and it starts to break what he had shared beforehand. He did it incorrectly, damaging the spell, as everyone soon starts to get weaker and weaker. But enough though still that Mary and the others were at least able to get away and land down and to get Breyer away from everyone. The fight continues on more and more, but Adam says, you can't beat me, to which Billy reverts back to normal, taunting him, basically saying, you're no hero, Black Adam, you're a bully, and you're afraid of fighting a kid without magic. Maybe I don't do spells, but I do know how to fight, so let's fight fair. If you win, I give up the power. If you win, you leave the city and never come back. Then, when Adam says no, he then taunts him saying, then kill me. Kill another kid and tell yourself it's for the good of the world. Tell yourself you're still a hero. Adam finally says, Shazam! Reverting back to Test Adam, saying, I am a hero. But then he collapses, soon starting to revert, as turns out he hasn't changed since he murdered his nephew. His age is finally catching up to him, as he soon reverts to an old man and then to dust. Shazam then Billy reverts back to Shazam, blasting Adam away as he's reverting back. And then, because the Seven Deadly Sins sense this, and they abandon Breyer as they run off, announcing how they're free. Breyer then reverts back to normal and is completely naked as everyone is laughing at him. Soon, then we see Billy wakes up. It's Christmas morning, and everyone's happy. But we then see Savannah making his way back into the Rock of Eternity. Somehow able to get through in. And while he's in there, we see, he's the wizard old man, wizard Gollum guy, as he soon finds Mr. Mind. Wow. Just wow. This was a great origin. And I know the new upcoming movie is going to be using a lot of this. A less dickish Billy being utilized, thankfully. And yeah, this was a great way to start. After this, Shazam would then pop up during into the Trinity War arc right afterwards, where it got kicked off as he went to Kandak to try and put Tess Adams' ashes in there, just out of some respect, sparking that incident. Then he was captured and everything by the crime syndicate, leading into Blackest Night. Not Blackest Night, sorry. Forever Evil. Wrong event. And during that time, then we have Black Adam is resurrected. How? Well, Isis. Yes, that Isis and her brother end up finding a way of doing it. They gather up a lot of the ashes, make their way to a pyramid, and then use the magic words and the ashes restore him back to being Black Adam. And I'm sure he's able to revert back and forth now from here on out. I think this is a similar adaptation to what was done back in the old days. But anyway, after that, Black Adam then flies in and starts fighting Ultraman, tuning into Jimmy's signal watch like Superman would, because, well, Ultraman was threatening the Daily Planet. They start fighting, and this soon leads right into Forever Evil's main story, as, well, Black Adam gets his jaw broken, so he doesn't have to say the magic words and zap him. But throughout all this, then he just helps out in the end, trying to stop Mazad, which was the Earth 3's Crime Syndicate Earth version of Lex Luthor, who was their Shazam. And, well, with a little bit of help from Lex as well, they're able to stop him, and then he and Sinestro move the Earth and the Moon back in place. Wow, okay, together those two are pre-crisis level strength, it seems. But, yep, Black Adam is back. And goes off to be on his own. And then Billy continues on throughout most of the Justice League, leading up to the Darkseid War, where after that happens, the gods that make up Shazam abandon him, and so Billy has to find new gods to help him out. One of which is still the Wizard, who's still alive. And another one is Darkseid's father as well. Now, it's up in the air whether or not these people are still with him or not, because at the very end, he gets his power drained by Superwoman using the baby Alexander Luthor to absorb that power. So it's up in the air right now. But that's basically the primer. Let's get into the main two issues, as we finally, and also finally in the aspect of getting to this miniseries, getting into Shazam #1 by Jeff Johns and Dale Eaglesham. It's basically, we open up with a summary of everything and of what happened beforehand with the Wizard, and then we cut back to in Philadelphia. Again, it's still Philadelphia, not Fawcett City. Interesting still, as they're all at a museum, and while they're there, a robbery happens. So they decide, and Billy becomes Shazam. And basically, who the hell is that? You're gonna have to guess. I've been having a lot of trouble time saying my name lately. One thing I should point out is make clear, unlike the old days where saying Shazam even casually will change him, this case he has to really mean it to change. And then, what does Billy then do? He then calls for, makes the other ones all power up as they all join in, ready to deal with them all. And I love it. It's basically like, it's them! Them who? And them who? And Billy's superhero team, the Lightning League. And yeah, they just start baiting up the guys, taking them all down. Darla's tying up one guy, Eugene is zapping another, and then Mary's like, you already took two of them, and turn them out. Fine, I gotta take care of this myself. Yourself? What fun is that? And she takes them all down. And then when Bunny asks, and which one of you is in charge? Mary and Billy both say, I am. I thought I was in charge. Well, I'm older. I was first. Why don't we take a vote? Darla, of course, saying I vote for Mary. Okay, one thing about Englishman's art, I will say that Darla looks a little bit too sassy in that compared to the girl we're supposed to be. Pedro's like, I'm the strongest. I should be leader. Eugene, I'm the Call of Duty expert. I know battle strategies. And Freddy's like, when did we become a hierarchy? I refuse to vote. The cops? Who are these guys again? I'm starving. Let's just say Superman did it. Fair enough. They all make it back home. And it's time for lasagna. They're talking with the family, bringing up about how the new superhero team shows up. They're all geeking out. And, we find out a year has passed since that day. They soon then make their way, all run upstairs. And, I've never seen a clean table and wash the dishes so fast. Where the hell are you off to and where are you all off to in such a hurry? Homework! It turns out, yeah, they're actually going up there. And they open a door. Because of the magic, they're able to enter into the Rock of Eternity. And, well, they basically leave some little trophies for everything. And then we find out they decided to agree with the Shazam family. And yeah, because they are a family. Then Eugene shows up and they hurry down and they find the station, which is basically where a lot of these trains will take him to all of the other 6 realms of magic. The magic lands, as it's called. And, well, they decide to go give it a shot. Meanwhile, we then see at the Vasquez's, they're all cleaning. Turns out they didn't rinse the dishes and it broke the dishwasher. But at least they tried. There's someone at the door, and I love how Mr. Vasquez basically towel whips Mrs. Vasquez. And while everyone's trying to figure out, while Freddy's about to turn everything on, and Freddy tries to tell him, wait, don't. At the front door, we find Billy's father. What? We then get a backup story as we see Mary, as my guess is she's with the Broomfelds, I guess, and as she's getting out, they're just saying, Mary, you open this door! You open this door right now, you little brat! Mary, it's Mommy. You know you're not supposed to talk back to your father. The floor just needs to be scrubbed and Daddy's shoes need to be polished. And you need to start dinner too, okay? Open the door so we can talk to you. That's all. I'm getting the belt. You idiot. She'll never open the door that way. And I'm going to break that damn thing down. Mary, you get back here. She basically climbs down the fire escape as they're yelling at her. Mary, you have nowhere else to go. No one out there will love you like us. She hesitates for a moment. Then the mother, who's been trying to be the nice one, and saying, we're going to train you to the bed, you horrible little monster. Yep, that clinches it. She runs off. Then see her running around, seeing all these foods, has what little money she has left. But then she looks over and sees the Salvation Army Santa. She then puts all the money left instead to better people. And basically he has like, what do you want for Christmas? I don't know. Nothing that comes wrapped in a box with a bow, I guess. Merry Christmas, Santa. Then turns out she was sleeping inside front of a toy store, and turns out the Santa called the cops and made sure she got safe. Meanwhile, later on at the orphanage, the Vasquez's find her, adopt her, and turns out Freddy was there first. And basically they meet each other, and they get to know each other, and we also, I didn't mention this earlier, but she has a rabbit named Hoppy, and, well, this is basically how she described it then. She and Freddy pulled the fire alarm, and basically they set it off, and she runs off with Hoppy before he could go and be experimented on by Savannah. Oh boy, as if Savannah wasn't bad enough. Then we find out, yep, he's still fine and dandy, and okay, people have made this joke before. He looks like some, doesn't he? Anyway, they get a call from Billy. She and Darla decide to power up Shazam, and the lady gets Hoppy as he's now flying away. Yep, we got Hoppy the super rabbit. The next issue then we open up with the Vasquez's talking, trying to figure out like, wait, is he really who he says he is? Okay, he is, but why did he do it like that? No, okay, and basically we find out that, yeah, they were favoring the father over the adoptive parents, and yeah, this is just... Oh, and we actually get their names finally. Victor and Rosa. They've been mentioned before, I completely missed it. But Victor is pointing out how the one thing Billy wanted was to find his biological parents. We're lucky that changed. That he learned to like it here. But, yeah, and point out, Billy loves it here. Then they come in wondering, like, hey, where'd everyone go? They all disappeared. They then decide if everything turns on, they're like, okay, where do we go to then? And they decide to go to Funland and the Funland Express. Looks like Disney World on steroids, as they pointed out. And basically they all get on board. There's a lot of great stuff on there. And I love how Billy and Mary are both being the whole, guys, can we be easy about all this? But Freddy, being the impulsive one, hits the button and they go off. And it's a magic subway car. We finally, after all this time, find out about Savannah, and turns out he has a book and everything from the Rock of Eternity, and Mr. Mind's literally in his ear telling him what to do. We then everyone makes their way there to Funland, as they're coming in and find this weird talking doll, not doll, but midget, little person, whatever, and they end up in, holy shit, Mary wasn't kidding, it's Disney World on steroids. Freddy said that, sorry. And they're all looking around, they're all excited, and Mary's asking a whole bunch of questions, and she mentioned that she has college entrance exams this week. Okay, seriously, how old is Mary? Okay, I really want to know how old she is, because that's a big, significant jump for Billy. I mean, Billy, okay, we were told he had 3 more years left until he was out of the system, and that was a year ago. So that means he was 15, so he's 16 now, and she's worried about college entrance exams. Okay, interesting. But anyway, they all decided, like, okay, 1 hour, then we meet here and we go home. They go all have some fun, while Shazam, turns out he needs the tongue of a medicine man for a spell, as he literally takes it from the doctor he's meeting. And then we open the book and we find out about Mr. Mind. And I love all this. It's actually pretty detailed. Like mentioning how Mind is boasted about reading a rule of a world full of worms, but is suspected, and that he originated from the Wildlands and has a vendetta against the Magic Lands. And it took the combined might of all the people who made up the Shazam to do it. We didn't see everyone is just having all kinds of fun, but there's always something that feels a little off about it. We see a guy running away from the kids with the birthday cake, and even say, like, I guess he ate cake. Who eats cake? And all that. Then we end this issue, and I can end this video finally, on the train pulling up as we meet someone else. Someone pointing a cane at them saying, "You must be Billy Batson. I'm King Kid, ruler of the Funland, and I'm the missing 7th champion of the family." What? Yeah, so that's been Shazam number 1 and 2, and the primer I gave it. Jeff Johns is really doing some wacky stuff with it. It kind of reminds me of Jerry Ordway's Power of Shazam series in a way, where it basically brings in new stuff but then does it in its own way. And I think Jeff Johns is really tapping into that old golden age feeling, but still in a modern take. Again, I'm not too keen on him making Billy such a brat at first, but as it's gone on, it shows that he's finally mellowed out. He's becoming more like the Billy we know and love, so I get it. I get what he was going for, but he went a little overboard. Again, so glad that the movie coming up soon is going to be doing it differently. And yeah, that's basically this. It's been a great start, and I'm going to continue to buy this. It's Jeff Johns. What do you expect? So, yep. So that was Shazam number 1 and number 2, and well, 1, it's Jeff Johns, of course, is great, but it still has that nice whimsical fun that Shazam is known for having. Yeah, okay, Billy started off as a complete utter dickhead, to quote the director for the upcoming movie, which I cannot wait for. But if you're going to make a movie out of it, that initial Shazam arc was not a bad way, even though Black Adam's not involved in the movie, otherwise we'd be having The Rock in it. And it is still very intriguing. We finally get to get some stuff going on with Dr. Sivana, Mr. Mind, which again was a nice reinterpretation. I love the family aspect of everything. Some characters can be a bit more generic than the others, and sometimes it feels like Shazam is a supporting character, but when you have a whole family, it kind of makes sense in that regard, and I like it. I even love some of the hints still about Mary and Billy's, connection that, not when everyone else noticed, or not everyone else does, but everyone else knows Shazam, but I'm curious how they're going to tell it out. Well, that's all I got to say here. I will catch you all next time. See ya.